Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for a special edition of 12 News. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Kariba Devine. Today, we're showcasing some of the many Arizonans who embody the American spirit by making a difference in their communities every day.
It's all part of our series, Red, White, and You. We begin with a Gilbert teacher's final year in the classroom, but his legacy will outlast him by generations.
12 News journalist Nohelani Graf introduces us to an Arizona educator who proved that one idea can change an entire community.
We have all our posters and everything.
For nearly 30 years, Bob Allen has been collecting memories.
Banners and blood drive supplies.
Every banner, every photo and keepsake with a story of service.
All sorts of things that the kids have created.
When Bob arrived at Highland High School in 1996, teaching English and history, there were farms where neighborhoods now stand and no real structure for students who wanted to give back. So he built one.
Experiences they get and then some of the recognition they can get later on can change people's lives.
A life lesson Bob learned himself as a teenager. So he pitched an idea, a class where students first learn about community outreach, then live it by volunteering.
The magic of the classes is once they got in, I think they started realizing it was way more than just leaving campus and having a little freedom. It was, I get to go make an impact.
GC 105 has become one of Highland's most popular classes. Over 3 decades, students have logged more than 650,000 volunteer hours throughout the valley, helping in schools, food banks, animal shelters, hospice programs, homeless shelters.
There's so many stories we can tell.
Stories like the student who volunteered at Sunshine Acres, fell in love with equine therapy, and grew up to open her own ranch helping others heal. Or Marissa Lopez, a former student in the class, now teaching alongside the man who inspired her.
You see how excited he is for you to learn about these awesome organizations, and so you as a student, you kind of get that same enthusiasm. You got it.
All right.
Also carefully tucked into that closet,
So these are kind of like what the banners are.
mementos from the most enduring thing Bob and his students built, Highland's blood drives, a tradition that for 19 straight years has led the state in total donations through Vitalance High School Challenge. The achievement celebrated from the grass of Chase Field to the walls of the school's gym.
I'm seeing former students and their children donating blood at a Highland blood drive.
More than 16,000 sleeves rolled up over the years, each time giving the gift of life to 3 others. The math is there, countless lives touched. And yet, Bob still insists the story isn't about him.
The people they served, that connection, that's all I care about.
After 31 years at Highland, Bob will retire at the end of next school year.
It's hard to think of our service learning class without thinking of him.
But the culture of service he helped shape won't retire with him, because year after year, students have inherited the same lesson. The most powerful thing you can give is time.
Can end up being life-changing.
And the time Bob has given will serve for generations to come.
Now to a man who is uniquely Arizona in all the best ways possible.
A Tucson native, Rick Romley, served his country and then upon returning from Vietnam, came home to serve his home state. As we get ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday, this former county attorney wants us all to remember that we can disagree without being disagreeable. The 1960s, a time of social change and idealism. It was also a time of war. America was embroiled in the meat grinder of Vietnam. And a young Rick Romley, just a few months out of high school, walked into a Tucson Marine recruiting station and signed up. It was 1968.
You know, I joined the Marine Corps with my best friend, David Schaefer. And just a short time after I was wounded, he was killed in Vietnam. It touched me, very, very personally. You know, I named my first son after him. And so I think of that sacrifice. And not just them.
By 1969, Romley was in Da Nang, Vietnam, about as close as you could come to hell on earth.
I could have been one of those veterans that, committed suicide that too many veterans do nowadays because of my war injuries.
It was a landmine that shredded Romley's body. Both legs were gone, and he had a ton of shrapnel in his gut. Surgery after surgery would follow. But that same dogged determination that would one day make him a fierce Maricopa County attorney not only pushed him to survive, it also changed him.
I actually think I'm stronger because of those war injuries. It forced me to recognize the good, sometimes the limitations that you might have, but you become stronger and you realize that you have a strength inside of you, and hopefully it pushes you to the good side.
Vietnam left its mark on Romley, as it did so many others. But instead of succumbing to the injuries that no one could see, he instead found purpose.
You know, when you find that there's something greater than yourself, you know, me, I had to raise my boys. I was a single parent. You begin to realize that can be the most gratifying in your entire life.
And that's the message that Rick Romley wants America to hear as we near our 250th birthday. Service and sacrifice can be life-changing. He wants his fellow Americans to listen to their hearts and not the noise.
I think take a moment and remember and reflect upon that service and sacrifice. Don't lose it. You know, don't give it up for the craziness of today's politics. That's not who we are as Americans. We just aren't that way. We are a giving country. We've always been that way. You know, just take a moment to reflect and honor those that give so much. And, you know, if you disagree with them, okay, disagree with them. But don't hate them. Don't hate them.
There is no one in PHI that does not know the name Leanne.
There's Michael Jordan for basketball, Michael Phelps for swimming. Then there's Leanne McGregor for maternal flight nurses.
We transport our moms from anywhere that either does not have labor and delivery services to somewhere that has labor and delivery services.
I'll sit over here or over there depending on who's with us or where equipment is strapped securely. 360, I've done 360.
Leanne has been doing this for 40 years and still loves it today. Why? Because she's not only helping the community, but shaping the future of the country with healthy babies.
You hold her hand, you're as a nurse, but you're trying to get as much information non-judgmentally. And the way your tone and your nonverbal approach to them, you can get a lot by just having respect for the patient.
So compassionate and caring and knowledgeable, and she has such a passion for who we take care of and the need that needs to be filled.
Leanne is an ASU alum, born and raised in Arizona, and has been helping develop one of the most prestigious maternal neonatal units in the country right here in the Valley, and recently hit an unthinkable milestone of 5,500 flights.
I don't count them, I just...
Somebody's doing it.
I know, someone counts it, but I don't.
I think it's absolutely amazing. I think that's probably not even the full amount that she's actually done. I think we lost count at some point, so.
Most of Leanne's career has been spent at Sky Harbor, and she says the number of flights has remained steady over the years, but they can see up to 5 to 6 calls in a 24-hour shift.
It's hard. Sometimes it's a sad situation, but our goal is to take care of the mom so you have the best outcome for her, her family, psychosocial, and have a healthy baby as much as we can.
Leanne says the industry has changed over the years, like the kinds of helicopters they use and also the age range and physical health of the patients.
Outside the valley, they're cute because the level of care is not provided at the small rural areas.
Just following her footsteps is honestly a dream of mine at this point, as well as I'd say anyone at our base. And I think we could just strive to be her.
Do you have an idea when you're gonna hang up the flight suit?
Next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yes, I'll be of age.
Okay. Yeah. In Phoenix, Troy Lynch, 12 News.
When students surprised Mr. Jody Burquam with the Pride of Peoria Award in 2022, it was an honor long overdue.
You're a popular guy here. You must be doing something right.
I appreciate it, yeah. I do. I joke with my kids that I'm like a D-list celebrity. I can't go to Target without getting identified.
It may not be a military commendation, but these days the awards are just as gratifying. Jody had an Army career. A diabetes diagnosis forced him out after 10 years, not what he planned.
And so I needed to fill that service gap, and I was like, I want to serve still.
His next deployment, the campus of Centennial High School in Peoria.
The rear of the vehicle?
Berquam is a law enforcement instructor, student council advisor, and organizer of charity events year-round, modeling for Centennial High students how to be servant leaders.
Being a good leader is showing up, being first there, last to leave.
One lesson every student gets from Mr. Berquam is not found in textbooks, an experience he had in Afghanistan when he oversaw the first citizen elections.
Put a black ink on their finger in order to vote.
A photo says it all of an Afghan security officer who became a friend.
It's a tumultuous time where everybody's being threatened if they voted. He's got his finger in there, just walking around, waving it above his head. It was telling everybody that this is the right thing to do. And it's a mantra that I try to teach my student council kids and all of our leaders. If it's not popular, but it's the right thing to do, giving back to community, doing these things, because it's the right thing to do, we can proudly put our fingers in the air.
As a 12 News Red, White, and U honoree, Mr. Berquam proves you can turn disappointments into opportunity. And for him, there's a bonus. His wife, Julianne, is around every now and then, a curriculum specialist in the district. Their daughter will join him on campus next year as a freshman.
Centennial High School and Peoria Unified School District, we really, truly love everything about it. It really builds good citizens, and the citizens are really what it's all about.
Joe Dana, 12 News.
Still ahead, meet the volunteers in Mesa, stitching hope together with their so-called ugly quilts.
And a Phoenix muralist wants to bring people together through his artwork. We were there as he put the finishing touches on one of his latest works.
Red, White, and You, America's 250 is sponsored by Semper Fi Heating and Cooling.
What's up, Arizona? Every season starts with preparation, but for many teachers, the biggest challenge isn't the lesson plan, it's having the supplies they need to make it happen. That's why 12 News is teaming up with Teach for America, Amazon, and the D-backs to support new teachers with the tools they need to shape the next generation.
So help us step up to the plate. Visit the link below or scan the QR code to donate supplies, because when teachers win, the community wins.
Woo! Pitch In for Teachers is sponsored by Amazon.
A group of Arizona volunteers have spent more than 3 decades helping hand-sew sleeping bags for people who are experiencing homelessness.
They recently reached a historic milestone that got them recognized by a U.S. congressman. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly introduces us to Mesa's Ugly Quilt Group.
While their name is unique, these volunteers make it clear.
We are not ugly quilters. We make ugly quilts.
Made up of about 20 men and women, every Thursday they meet at First United Methodist Church in downtown Mesa to make these so-called ugly quilts for a good cause.
It warms my heart to know that we can help someone that is in need and help them through their troubles.
Spokesperson Nona Weiser has been volunteering here for more than 20 years. She says they hand sew sleeping bags for men, women, and children who are unhoused.
In 1991, they started sewing here, and it was all piecework. We're really blessed with donations now.
And then we add the towels and a t-shirt, a hat, and a scarf.
Everyone here has a vital role.
I have to sew them together onto the fabric.
I thread all the needles for everyone, and then I fill the coffee when it's empty.
Two very important jobs, I would say.
Right.
For a cause they're all behind.
We all care about people that are struggling on the streets. You know, we could all be there someday.
There's a real need out there for the homeless. I am able to do something in my retired years instead of just being at home doing nothing.
Amongst the constant sound of sewing, laughter also echoes through the process. The friendships made here, making this fulfilling work go by a little faster.
I live alone, so it's nice that I can come and make friends.
Fun people to work with. We all have kind of the same motivation to help somebody less fortunate than we are.
Leading them to reach a historic milestone.
This is our 18,000th bag.
donating 18,000 bags, leading to Arizona U.S. Congressman Greg Stanton awarding them a congressional commendation for their continued work.
It was very exciting.
Kind of a golden award for us.
While they are wrapping up for the season, since many volunteers are winter visitors,
Yeah, I will miss it. I wish it went on all year.
it's this time together and helping those in need that make them excited to come back again. In Mesa, Chase Golightly, 12 News.
In Phoenix, color is everywhere, and it's more than just art, it's a way to connect.
Artwork is similar to music. You don't have to speak a certain language or have a certain background to appreciate color and line work and look at something and say, hey, that looks cool.
That's what drives Jesse Perry, also known as Mr. Downtown Phoenix.
I've done close to 200 murals across the valley and some out of state as well.
His work inspired by the desert and the beauty of the Southwest.
From the different colors and life and animal and just a lot of the different fun that happens in the desert.
It's not just about what you see, though. It's also about how it makes you feel.
I want it to inspire happiness and bring a smile to people's faces.
In December, we met Jesse as he worked on a city grant-funded mural with residents at St. Vincent de Paul, a nonprofit supporting people experiencing homelessness.
I hope that the residents who have been here interacting with it, experiencing it, get to create a core memory and generate that and carry that with them when they leave here.
Just months later, he says that's exactly what's happening.
I've been getting a lot of emails and a lot of photos of people in front of the murals.
Now he's bringing that same mission closer to home in his neighborhood near Osborne and 16th Street, transforming this alleyway connected to a canal.
There's broken glass and it was becoming dangerous.
Into something new.
To better the space and to clean up after it, to remove the weeds.
At the same time, he's also adding some color.
So this one is going to be our selfie spot. So we've got some really fun little wings that we're going to be able to do. The goal is to paint the entire alleyway and basically create an alley gallery that people can feel safe walking down any time of day.
A work in progress, one wall at a time, with one goal.
I just hope they feel a sense of pride in their community.
Reporting in Phoenix, Maria Stobbs, 12 News.
Still ahead, stray dogs on the Navajo Nation are getting a second chance thanks to one woman dedicated to helping animals in the most remote part of Arizona.
Red, White, and You, America's 250 is sponsored by Semper Fi Heating and Cooling.
I'm Mark Curtis from 12 News.
And I'm Derek Hall, president of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And together with Vitalant, we're asking Arizonans to help save lives this summer. Join us Sunday, July 5th at the Tempe Center for the Arts for the Saving Arizona Holiday Blood Drive.
Blood donations can help real people and real families during their hardest moments.
Donors receive a pair of Diamondbacks tickets. Just scan the QR code on your screen.
Please join us and help make a difference for Arizona.
It's the Saving Arizona Holiday Blood Drive, Sunday, July 5th.
Valor, dedication, sacrifice. Members of our military make a positive impact on our communities long after they take off the uniform. That's why Semper Fi Heating and Cooling is proud to join 12 News in honoring those who serve. We're seeking nominations for those who inspire, who give, and who protect. Share their story and help us shine a light on their selfless service. Nominate your hero today at 12news.com/those who serve. Let's celebrate the brave men and women who give so much for our freedom.
A Navajo dog rescue is getting national attention for a commitment to helping animals in the most remote part of our state.
Res Roads Rescue is on the Navajo Reservation 5 hours from Phoenix. 12 News journalist William Pitts explains how they're saving dogs that would otherwise be left on their own.
Chantel Wadsworth wasn't always a dog person. She didn't even have pets.
I didn't have them until I was like
23 years old. It was the time that I was actually have a pet of my own. And from then on, I mean, I just fell in love with him, and I just really became a dog person after that.
But what she missed out on early, she's more than made up for. Chantel started Res Roads Rescue, the only animal rescue on the Navajo Reservation.
We started finding out, like, how can you help these dogs on the reservation?
Strays, puppies, unwanted dogs, mistreated dogs, even those whose owners just need help. She's been there, free of charge.
We do a lot of work with community, not only just rescuing dogs and cats, but also trying to make sure that we have resources for our community. We do a pet pantry. So really just all around general pet welfare that we're trying to help around our communities.
This dog belonged to an elderly man on the reservation who couldn't afford dog food for 3 days. Chantel took care of it. They're called res dogs, strays that people on the reservation know and see all around. These strays found on the side of the road, puppies offered up for free in flea markets. In 1 2-week period, Chantel says she took in 31 dogs. And that doesn't count the ones she just helps.
Right now, there's only 2 veterinarians that I know of located on the reservation, and they're mainly on the southeast of the reservation. That's basically, they're probably like 45 minutes away from each other. One time we drove about like 18 dogs 3 hours away just to get them all fixed. And we literally waited for them all day. And then we drove 3 hours back home to drop them off with our owners.
It's almost constant work that Chantel does in addition to her full-time job. That commitment led the Humane World for Animals to name Chantel their 2026 Community Hero. Res Roads Rescue is all volunteer, funded entirely by donations. It's hard work, it's long hours, but for Chantel, the reward is everything.
It is a lot to take on, but it's desperately needed here, and that's why we've taken on this job.
William Pitts, 12 News.
Thanks, everyone, for watching this special edition of 12 News. Don't forget to download the free 12 News streaming app on your TV, and you can watch us for free anytime.
It's where you can stream all of our newscasts as well as exclusive original content. It's available on Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku devices. Thanks for watching.
Red, White, and You, America's 250 is sponsored by Semper Fi Heating and Cooling.
Valor, dedication, sacrifice. Members of our military make a positive impact on our communities long after they take off the uniform. That's why Semper Fi Heating and Cooling is proud to join 12 News in honoring those who serve. We're seeking nominations for those who inspire, who give, and who protect. Share their story and help us shine a light on their selfless service. Nominate your hero today at 12news.com/those who serve. Let's celebrate the brave men and women who give so much for our freedom.